Okay, we're back on the archives again. This is probably the final installment for the live trading. It's 2 o'clock, or sorry, 3 o'clock, so we got another hour of trading. The last 2 hours, as usual, is usually pretty quiet from about 11:30 to 2:30, and now we're setting up for the final hour, where generally we get a couple of decent trades. There's usually at least one, possibly two decent trade setups in the last hour. So we'll see how we set up.
That's 30.5. That's 30.5. That's 30.5. That's 30.5. That happened, that is 70.
Yeah, I'll get it for you, Justin. Question. Wait a minute. Oh, hold on. Wait until we start recording. And
it's recording.
You ready? Yeah. Question is, JC, I want to make sure that I have this correct. On your 5-minute squeeze trade, you will trade whichever market the 5-minute squeeze is triggered on. For instance, the E-mini Russell, E-mini NASDAQ. Yeah, we will do that. But we will also take. We mainly like to do it in the Dow Mini, but we will do it in other markets. And let's say we get a 5-minute squeeze in the S&P, we will take it in the Dow also, okay? But we won't take a Russell or a NASDAQ squeeze and apply it towards like the Dow Mini. But we will do the S&P.
Yeah, remember too, and part of my trading plan is I don't want to have that much exposure. So what'll happen is if I see like a Russell fire off, and let's say I'm long a Russell, and then I see a NASDAQ fire off, and then I'm long the NASDAQ, and then I see the S&P fire off. Well, at that point, I can't even take the S&P trade because I'm at my maximum contract. So remember, so what'll happen is that I'll get into a situation where I'll have too many contracts. I'll have too much exposure, and I can't even take the trade. So the main trades I want to focus on are in the mini-size Dow and the S&Ps. So that's why I kind of watch the NASDAQ and the Russell for a heads up, but then I'll look at doing my trades in the S&P and the Dow. Now, if you prefer trading the NASDAQ and the Russell, then great. You just take them in the NASDAQ and the Russell. Right. Yeah, so I don't want to be in a situation where I'm long, I've got exposure to a market, and then the main market that I trade fires off, and I can't even take it because I've already got too many contracts in other markets.
All right, Finesse, it's clipping. Okay, I'm having it set here. Terrence is backing me up. He's got me. He's setting me now. Does it sound good to you now? To your ear? Yeah, I just had to turn down the sensitivity.
Yeah, I had the sensitivity cranked up from your headsets. So it was probably all the same.
The headset? Which one?
When you had the headset on, we turned it up.
Oh, okay. All right, so we're hooked up now. The one that quotes the S&P, I forget his name. Are you talking about Chunk behind him? The guy that sings? And is always yelling for Kevin all the time? Yeah, that guy's name's Chunk. You talking about the guy that's reading the bid ask right now? I forget his first name. I know Big Joe. Big Joe replaces him for lunch. But I forget this guy's first name.
Yeah, look at the 2-minute charts. The 2 minutes we got like red all over the place on the 2-minute charts. So I'm going to be watching these 2-minute squeezes to see where they fire off.
60.80.
let's keep an eye on these 2-minute squeezes.
930 and a half. Not even 30.
So remember, about half an hour ago, we got that minus 26 ticky reading, and ever since then, the markets have been struggling to move higher. Okay, so that's a good indication that you've got some selling pressure coming into the markets. Now I'm looking at the 2-minute squeezes, and right now, if any of them gave off a blue dot, we'd have a short squeeze. Meaning that's not a short squeeze like they're trapping shorts, but a short squeeze on the squeeze indicator, which is a sell signal. So let's see. We're at R3. It's very difficult for markets to move above R3. This has been a light volume rally. Crude oil was soft and now it firmed. So we have a good shot as some kind of a sell-off here. So just kind of keeping my eyes open.
Yeah, the last hour strategy on a 5 minute's not valid today. On a 5 minute, it opened and then it closed higher than it opened, which is a long. But the 5 minute TTM was red, so it's a conflicting signal. When that happens, you stay flat. Okay. If it would have closed lower than it would have opened, and I would have had a red bar, I would have been good to go.
Not 30 and a half. Not 20 and a half. Not 20 and a half.
Yeah, I mean, Andy, if you look at basically what we talked about, there's a whole section in the seminar on determining intermediate and longer-term positions in the market. And basically right now, everything's pointed lower, and there's no indication in sight that the markets are going to bounce and put in a bottom and start bouncing. Everything's pointed lower for the next couple of months.
Not 20 and a half.
I mean, I don't have any longs. I don't have any longs in market-sensitive stocks. There are some stocks that are kind of doing their own thing that I'll have positions in, but anything that's like a Goldman Sachs or Citibank or anything that's sensitive to market swings, I don't have any longs in any stocks like that.
Not 20 and a half. Not 20 and a half. It's called the biggest buy day of the year. 920 and a half. Yeah, the biggest buy night of the year. It's night before Thanksgiving. 930 with C1, 930 and a half. We have a half day Friday. 920 and a half, 920 and a half. You guys are planning awfully far ahead, aren't you? 930 and a half. 930 and a half, 930 and a half. 930 and a half. 960 bid at 80. 60 bid Morgan. 60 on 10 Brannigan. 960 bid at 80. 960 at 80. 980.
Okay, that was Miss Soprano. That was a plus 28 ticky reading.
980.
Getting some buying coming into the markets. Still just kind of waiting for a setup. I mean, obviously this is a very tight range here, so just kind of waiting for a move.
The sky goes 300 miles an hour.
I have a little car called
980, 980.
I have a car called the
970. 970, 970. How difficult is this set stuck in a contradiction?
I know it's up to 5 minutes. I usually have 4 or 5 minutes. Yeah, because I
980.
one contradiction in the first 5 minutes.
960 minute 80. 960 minute 80.
What about the comments that don't make any sense?
980, 980.
I don't know that many people.
Not really, Andy. I mean, when the overall market's depressed, that'll actually take gold stocks down with them too. So, I mean, if you're interested in gold, you want to actually do it through the actual metal, through gold futures or something like that. Because what will happen is if gold's going higher, houses and hedges are going to they're going to buy the actual gold metal through the futures, and then they're going to arb it with the gold stocks. So even though gold's going up, it can still push gold stocks down because they're getting arbed against the metal. So if you like gold, you want to actually get the actual metal, not the actual gold stocks.
That's good. That's the only video. 930 minute and a half. 920 minute and a half. 920
Okay, this is going to be an interesting last 45 minutes. We're going to focus here on what we look at in the last 45 minutes. Hey, can you kill the pit noise for a second? All right, let's do a quick review here of where we are. All right, I'm going to start on the radar screen. This is where I always start. All right, so we're going to look at anything. Has anything fundamentally changed since this morning? All right, we've got the trend moving down and it's near its lows. We've got the trend Q moving down on its dead lows. The main thing that's changed here on the put call is that the put call has drifted down just a little bit. All right. When the market's rallying and the put call is going lower, that's a red flag. You want to see the put call rallying with the market, okay? People are buying puts into the rally. But that's not a real big deal because 0.80, that's kind of neutral on the put call. But that is something to look for. This would be more bullish right now if the put call had basically stayed level all day or had actually moved a little bit higher. The fact that it's drifting lower and it's near its lows of the day, that's a little potential for a sell-off into the close. That means that people are not so they're starting to believe in the rally, and instead of buying puts, they're buying calls. But it's not extreme, so it's more of a neutral reading. Now, the ticks. Okay, the most important thing here, when in doubt, if you ever have mixed readings in the market and you're not really sure how to read the trend or how to interpret the sectors, you look at the ticks. On a day like this, when the ticks are spending all their time above zero, all right, you don't fight that. But that doesn't mean that we can't set up for a pullback into the last hour. Now, what I'd be looking for here is that if ticks made new lows on the day, then we could get a potential for a sell-off into the close. And by a sell-off, it's not looking for anything major, just looking for like a pullback. I mean, we could pull back a little bit and then push higher into the close. Make no mistake, this market is not setting up to roll over and die today. But remember, when we went over our pivot lesson, you just remember that the markets have a very hard time sustaining a move above R3 or below S3. So the fact that we're above those levels means that there's really not much more room to go on the upside. So I'd look for a potential flush here in the next 20 or 30 minutes, and then maybe we get a little rally into the close. At this point, I'm just kind of looking at possibilities, and I'm just going to play the markets as they come. For sectors, everything's higher. Okay, we don't have anything red. The worst sector of the day is oil service, and it's up 0.5 percentage point. The best sector of the day is airlines. It's up over 5%. Internet's up almost 4%. Biotech, almost 4%. So a lot of strong movements there in the key sectors. On the ticky, we did have one sell program hit here at about 2:30, as you can see right here. But the rest of the day, we've been hitting buy programs, buy programs, buy programs. So the pressure is on the buy side. So as we look into this, we're not making big bets on the short side, looking for the markets to collapse. If this market was getting worse, we'd see some of these sectors that would be red. We'd see the trends and the trend queue starting to rally. For example, if right now the trend was back up over this level and the trend queue is back up over this level, I'd look for some serious selling into the close. But right now, the market's telling us that the buying pressure is steady and it's not going to let up, so there's no reason to fight that. On the ticks, we did hit a low here right around 0, and since then, we've been steadily moving higher, and you can see we've got a wedge here in the ticks. On something like this, I'll look at it just like as a chart. I want to see, is this thing going to break higher, which is a breakout on the ticks, or break lower as a breakdown on the ticks, okay? But remember, if it's between 400 and minus 400, it's just noise, and so there's really nothing going on right here. The other things that we want to look at is the squeeze. Okay, the 2-minute squeeze. We've got nice red dots here. When this thing fires, expect the markets to move, and I will take this trade, whether it fires long or short at this point. The radar screen is saying that the markets are bullish, and that's great, and we've been listening to the radar screen all day. But you did see that with the put call heading lower, and the fact that we're at R3, and the fact that it's the last 45 minutes of trading, we could get a couple of different things happening. We could get people who are long getting nervous and wanting to take profits. We could get the market makers pushing the markets down and going for a stop run on any longs. Or we'll just consolidate and keep moving higher. So those are the different situations that we could get. And what we're going to do now is wait for the next trade signal. We're not going to just jump in and hope something happens. We're going to wait for a 2-minute squeeze, and if it's long or short, we're going to take it. We're going to watch the scalper buys and sells. Or are we going to hold the different pivot levels that we're up against right now? For example, right now, here's R3, okay? If the Dow can hold 93.30, then the market has a good chance of rallying into the close. If the S&Ps can hold 1077, the markets have a good chance of rallying into the close. But we also have a good chance of testing these levels, and so there is a potential for a short to test those levels. But the key right now, too, is that in part of my trading plan, okay, scalper sell, scalper sell. You can see we just got a scalper sell here coming in. Okay, we're going to go back to looking at the market.
8:30 minutes 70, 8:30 minutes and a half. 8:20 minutes and a half. 8:10 minutes 30. 8:20 minutes and a half. 8:30 minutes and a half. 8:30 minutes and a half. 8:20 minutes and a half. 8:20 minutes and a half. 8:20 minutes and a half. The Dow's still up 119. NASDAQ futures up 17. 8:20 minutes and a half.
Pick got a little bit louder with that move down, guys. Here come the ticks back up. Let's see if it's going to... It's kind of like do or die territory here. It's either going to hold its ground or it's going to start fading. Pit's selling. Pit's selling. The pit is selling. You have a 1-minute short squeeze firing. You have a 1 minute short squeeze firing. And you have an 89 tick that fired 3 bars ago. Ticks are trend is rising. Ticks are going lower.
First, just relax.
Okay, we got the 2 minute S&P firing off a short. The Dow has not yet. But I may go ahead and take that on the S&P.
What time is it?
3:25. Oh God, I don't want to chase it.
I don't either.
It's a 2 minute squeeze short.
Yeah, but I don't want to chase the 1 minute either. We pretty much just missed it, dude.
Okay, Dow's starting to fire off a short squeeze. I'm trying to get in front. I'm trying to get this, but I feel like I'm chasing it here a little bit.
Yeah. It smells like a fake sell-off. The trend is still at 0.43. The ticks only went to negative 500.
The radar screen really is not point. I mean, we're looking at a little sell-off, but
I'll say we stay flat.
yeah, I just don't like the short side. Right now, all we're doing is we just fell into R3, so I want to see how we handle this. If the markets can bounce off this level, great, and we may use that as a buying opportunity. But if the markets can only do a feeble bounce and roll over and then make new lows, I'll probably take that as a short.
There's a 2 minute short squeeze on the Dow. But listen here, guys. When the 2 minute fires off after an extreme move like that, after it went from like 9945 down to 9930 real quick, just be careful. You need to let it retrace a little bit before you enter, because if you don't, you'll be entering at the low tick of that move, okay? Look at the spike in the ticks.
Oh, yeah. How low do the ticks get?
Low as 400 or something?
Wow.
Hold on.
Ticks got almost down to minus 600.
Yeah. Almost 600.
Look at this trend Q exploding higher, but not,
It's not really up
I guess
so much.
exploding is the wrong term, but moving higher. Any sectors go red? I doubt it. No. So market's still holding up fine. That may have been the flush. We'll see. If we can't get much of a bounce from here, then I'm looking to go short. 2 minute squeeze, still valid.
Bonds are rallying a little bit.
Are they?
A little bit, but not much.
All right, I'm going short the Dow. Going short the Dow at the market.
John's going short the Dow. His fill's going to be around 31.
I'm taking the short squeeze. If it starts losing momentum, I'll get out. See how fast he was.
You should have 31.
Yeah,
easy
31. 31.
Phil's 31. Phil's 31.
Okay, first target plus 10. First target plus 10. Minus 10 or...
I'm staying flat, guys.
So first target's 21. Okay, if we start to lose momentum on the 2 minute, or if we get a scalper buy, I will get out of this trade. Otherwise, I'm taking the 2 minute squeeze short.
Cycorp just sold. Locals just lifted them. Market should go down.
So you can see here on the S&Ps, we need to get through 1076.5. Okay, got some decent support here at 1076.5.
Bonds rallying.
On the Dow, we need to get through 99.28 if we're going to get any decent movement. Okay, these are some key support levels. Got to get through those levels.
What time's bonds close? 3?
Bonds close at 3 in the pit, but then they continue to trade on Globex.
Oh, okay. Pit's real quiet. You could hear a pin drop in the pit right now. The Calm before the storm. Clack touched its 200-day moving average on a 2-minute chart. Chicks are back in positive territory, 118, 120.
Dude, you can't be tired. What'd you do? Work all weekend?
Yeah, that's about it. Just get tired after a long day of trading. What time is it? 3:30. Yep. 30 more minutes since bedtime.
Kind of consolidating here at R3. Checking the 2-minute squeeze. We still got momentum. We haven't lost that momentum yet.
Clack bouncing off its 200-day moving average on a 2-minute chart. I don't have my stock execution platform set up here, but you could nibble on Clack on the long side and you should be okay with a 25-point stop. Then if it breaks through the 200-day moving average on a 2-minute chart, reverse and go short. Nope.
Missed that one.
No, all you need is the Hotcom Lite version. You don't need standard or pro.
Correct.
Yeah, don't just get the cheapest one, the light version. That's all you need.
Oh, cool. I don't know. I just don't trade stocks. I trade Clack. It's bad when you go from trading a lot of equities to futures, and then you're like, well, what's a stock?
That's true.
You know what?
Oh, it sounds like a scalper buy. Let me switch here. All right, we just got back into a scalper buy, so I'm getting out.
That is a big move, though. No, I understand, Fast Man. I understand. That's a big move for Kmart. $10. It's not bad though, dude. You only lost 8 points or 7.
Yeah, so got -7 on that one. So, just to review real quick. As we've been talking about today, the markets are obviously very bullish, so I've been kind of hesitant to do anything short. So I did take this short squeeze. Basically, the short squeeze has started losing momentum. And then we got a scalper buy. So, you know what? There's no reason to hang on to the trade anymore, and I'm out. Did a little nibble on the short side, see what would happen. And as soon as it was apparent that it's not going to work out, there's no reason to hang on for a 20-point stop. I'm going to get out and just lose 7 points. So now we see the next trade, how it sets up.
It's real quiet again.
Yeah, this is almost like looking like staying aside the rest of the day. I mean, we're not really getting any moves.
Yeah, it's pretty much over for the day.
But we'll see here. We got 30 minutes. See if this market can get something going.
I say we keep what we made and go. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of advantage here, guys. After such a run up of a day like we had this morning, if you missed it, it's just too bad you just missed it. That's kind of how you got to chalk it up. Now you're pulling back a little bit, but the market internals and everything are still pretty strong. I mean, the trend did rise a little bit, but nothing major. The ticks, got flushed there. So the way JC did it was a smart way to do it. He was just feeling, just nibbling there to see if they were actually going to sell it. It didn't work out, but he only gave back 7 points, so that's not a real big issue. Listen to them, dude.
Yeah, they're cracking up.
They're crazy.
Well, what we may be doing is one of the trades that I always like to do, and is called a 352 trade. We may be able to get a nice spike on that, but for now, just kind of watching. There's not a lot of, the pit's kind of quiet. It's been quiet on the upside and the downside here. It's like the move's already over, and everybody's just kind of waiting now for the next day. And, we may end up closing right around here.
Oh, please explain 352 trade. He just walked out. He'll be right back. He'll come back and explain to you. 352 trade is a time trade. You enter long or short at 352 based on what the market has done during this time during the day, throughout the day. So let's say that there were a lot of sellers in the first part of the day, and then it just gradually started moving up at 3 o'clock. At 352, you place a long trade with the anticipation of it being a short squeeze. Or people covering their shorts, okay? Now, on a long day, it's a little bit harder, but it's usually, a lot of people are going to start taking their positions off around 352. So today's could potentially be either a long or short. We'll just have to see when we get there. It's kind of like a pure trader psychology type trade.
Enemy 20, enemy 20. 788, 20. 778 even. 7F80, 7F80. 760 and 80.
Talk to Kevin.
Seven 70 and 90.
Justin,
770 and 90.
make sure you copy it.
7F80, 7F70.
Justin.
7F70. 7F70. 730 minutes, 730 minutes and a half. 720 minutes and a half. 720 minutes and a half.
Pretty loud.
5 minutes, too short.
5 minutes trying to fire off a squeeze short. Oh, is it Ernie? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's probably him. I think it's his name. The 5 minutes started blinking blue there, so we've got a potential 5 minute short squeeze. You need to explain your 352 trade. I explained a little bit of it.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that when we get to 352. That's usually my last trade of the day.
Trend's starting to creep up again. But so is the tick. Kind of weird. Oh, cool, Justin. Yep. All right, the 5 minutes trying to fire. You do have a potential 5 minute fire in here. You just gotta wait till it closes. Clock's breaking its 200-day moving average, so going short the Dow Mini, going short the Dow Mini. Quarter position, quarter position. I just took a 5 minute squeeze, dude.
Did you? Okay.
Short. The Dow Mini.
All right. So basically, the 352 trade it's generally a trade in the opposite direction of the way that the market's been moving that particular day. It's basically you just, and I'll talk about it as we get there. It's because I'd spent a couple of years trading in a trading room. I would watch everybody in the trading room basically all do the same thing and then ended up having to cover and get stopped out at the end of the day. So that's how I developed the trade. And basically it's just a fade of the last major move of the day. The main interesting thing for today is that the market internals are so strong. Generally, when I see them this strong, the market's up like 200 points on the Dow instead of just 100.
Phil was 25 and 26.
Mark's been pretty quiet ever since about noon.
Yeah, it has. It sucked ever since the first little run up. It's been sloppy a little bit. Yes, it has. Exactly. We should have left after the first part of the day.
Yeah, the best trading is definitely in the first, 9 to 11:30 is the best setups. Pre-market, you just get in there and get situated, and then usually there's a good trade or two in the last hour. But you can see what a waste of time it is to sit there and trade during the doldrums when the moves are so quiet. I'm going to flip back over to the radar screen here. Let's take a look. Basically, you can see the trend Q's been kind of pushing up higher. A little bit higher there. The ticks put in their lows of the day. And we have gotten 2 little sell programs hitting. So there is some selling coming to the market, but obviously not a lot. No sectors are red. And so now just heading into the last 15 minutes here. Here's one important thing about the last 15 minutes. Okay, the last 15 minutes of the trading day have nothing to do with your indicators. They have everything to do with trader psychology. So in the last 15 minutes of the day, all it comes down to is who is more nervous to hold stuff overnight, longs or shorts. Well, in this particular market, my guess it's going to be longs. So we can look for some potential selling into the close. But we'll see here. You've also had a lot of shorts who are skewered today, and are they going to want to be covering into the close? So we'll set up here at right, Mike, at 352. We'll see where we are, and then take a position. And the idea of the 352 trade is to get on the opposite side of the people who are more nervous. So obviously this isn't an exact science, but I'm just looking at people. I'm picturing all the people who want to get flat at the end of the day. Are more people going to be long in the last 10 minutes? Are more people going to be short? And is there going to be more buy orders in the last 2 minutes or more sell orders in the last 2 minutes? And then see how that translates into the 4 to 4:15 time frame. Because from 4 to 4:15 there's no volume. Yet what happens is traders who are in a losing trade will hold on to their trade in the hope that after hours it'll get better. And then what happens is when they start covering at market and there's no volume, it can send the Dow up, 20 points in your favor. So we'll see how it sets up here.
Mark G, I would have to have a lot of cushion in the trade in order to take it home overnight. I would have to have at least probably 30 points in the trade. And I would take like a very small position overnight, like a quarter of a quarter of a position in that scenario. If they're going to sell it off, I wish they'd get up and, get started with it.
Right.
Either that or stop me out. One.
It's been really quiet the last, it's just been like...
These are the worst trades. When you enter them, if they don't work immediately for you, the next thing you start thinking is, okay, hurry up and just stop me out so I can just be flat.
78.20. Even 20. 78 even. 78 even. 80 20. 80 20.
You guys remember the weekend we were talking about the moving averages? We do have for the first time today, we've got the 8 and the 21 on the 144 tick have crossed over. So you've got a slight bias to the downside here. You can see how pretty much all day it's been an upward cross. And then now here toward the end of the day, you're getting the downward cross. Okay, we just got a red dot on the 144 tick. This market looks like it's going to go lower. It's kind of rare when it's funny, I keep looking at this pivot and it's R3. It's so rare that you see daily R3 acting as support. All right, we're into 350. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the next scalper signal.
I'm getting ready to jump out of this trade.
Are you?
It's driving me insane. It's been in a 10-point range for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 minutes. That's like 2 hours for me right there.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty long.
Okay, flat, getting stopped out, flat, minus 11.
All right, I'm going long here. We're going to get a scalper buy. I want to go long into the close.
The 5-minute also lost momentum as I was getting stopped out. The 5-minute also lost momentum as I was getting stopped out.
Joe, the S&P. Had the scalper buy right here. So what I want to look at psychologically wise is basically in the last 8 minutes, I want to do the opposite of what's been happening over the last half hour. So the last half hour we've been trending lower. All right. So anybody that's been getting short down here and wanting to cover into the close, they're basically going to be holding on to their positions. And hopefully they'll hold on to them right into 4 o'clock. Hoping that the market's going to roll over, and then if they do at that point, we'll get a nice pop into from 4 to 410.
That was hilarious. Hit homer and that one both hit at the same
Right.
time. Ticks are 800. Ticks are 800.
Shakalaka, shakalaka.
Easy now, easy now. I'm trying to figure out what I did wrong there. I did it right, it's just the trade that didn't work out. As soon as I started seeing that crap happen like that right there, I should have got out though. That up 10, down 10, up 10, down 10.
It looked like it was going to fall, though.
It did look like it. But it did not work out successfully.
Right, so what would be a brick long?
Right here. Yeah, there's two ways of doing it. Either price action is how some people do it and like to do that. But I like for the next white one to come up there and close above it.
Okay.
I mean, you can use price too. Some people use that technique. But as you can see, it's how bricks work. I mean, sometimes those things will move away from price and you'll never get a brick.
Right.
Like there. But it never really broke down there, so.
Right.
We can look at it for price. It might work.
Yeah, so first target on this is the same parameters. First target is plus 10.
I think it's going to close right here.
Probably, right?
I think it's going to close between 99.47 and 99.32.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the buying and selling done.
Mm-hmm. $10 points. Roger, 10 points on a single. Or really, if it pops up there to 8, I would take it if I were you.
Yeah, you can use plus 10 on a single contract too. That's fine. Right around that area. You can see there's a lot of resistance. When you start getting around 99.50, there's a lot of resistance there. So just looking for an initial push there, and then we'll see if we can get a little bit more after hours.
What you can do, Roger, as soon as it hits 10, take a look at it and gauge its strength. Is it going through 10 points like a hot knife through butter? If it is, you know, you might want to hold on to it for just a little longer and then cut her loose. But I would really pay attention to it at up 10 points.
Yeah, at Fox, my second target's not actually a price. It's going to be a time. My second target, if we can get a good move here, I want to hold it into like 410 to 415. So that's my strategy
Pit's
here,
getting
okay?
freaky. You got a lot of guys bidding up. Pit's getting a little loud.
Shakalaka.
Ticks are at 900. All right, so look, singles. Ticks are at 1,000 almost. So you are well advised to take it at 49. If you can get a fill of 49, take it. I mean, the odds are it won't go higher, but it can. I mean, the percentages after it hits 1,000 ticks or in that range, it usually likes to pull back. I mean, it can go higher, but you know, you kind of got to be all correct or all. You're either right or wrong on a single. You got 9 right there. You might be able to get 50. Acts like it's going to go a little bit higher. But tape reading wise, it's stalling at 9. Somebody just bought 25 contracts at 9. Look.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, who's 49? Okay, I need 59.
30 minutes 70. Cash closed down close in 2 minutes. 9:70.
Got a lot of sellers at 48. They've dumped 10, 20, 30, 40 contracts at 48. It's gradually getting a little louder. 60, 70, 80, 90. You've had about 110 contract trades that are about 48 and 49. Needs to get through that area. They won't let it bust through 49 though. It's going to get stuck at 48 if it don't go. He just hit the JP Morgan at 40 below. I need to make that bigger so we can read it. Ooh, Dow got to 50. You got a half at 50?
Yeah.
So John's out his half at 50.
Oh.
What is that? Did you get paid?
Well, he had it at 49.
Oh, do you have it at 49?
Yeah. So I want to make sure that we get 51. Myers put that at 49, so I got 49.
Oh.
Okay, you guys should be out half. So the second half, I'm just holding on until 4:14 or 4:13 Eastern. And the reason is what happens is when the market closes at 4, the markets after hours get really thin. So if we got a lot of people that were stuck short at 99.30, they're going to have to get forced to cover here. You'll see some pretty nice price movements. All right, so you should be out here at 99.50 on the first half.
John, what is your stop on your other half now?
Move the stop to break even minus 10. Break even minus 10.
Thank you, thank you. Breaking minus 10 or breaking minus 8?
Well, 10 for this one, then I'll get it.
Consistent. I got you, brother. I got you.
Can you turn down the pit noise just for a second?
Yep. Hold, please. Noise down.
All right, so here's what I'm doing for the rest of this play, all right? This is the 352 play. The first half, I got the 10 points from 99.40 to 99.50. The second half, I've got an open target, but I've got to stop at break-even minus 10. So I'm not going to lose any money on this trade. At worst, I'll get a break-even trade. However, what will happen sometimes is at 4 o'clock when the market closes, if you've got a lot of people who got there that last little move, they got excited and shorted it at the market, and they're stuck down there. They've been kind of waiting to see if the market's going to roll over. So what they're going to do here from 4 to 4:15 is wait and see if the market's going to roll over. If it doesn't, if it becomes apparent that it's not going to, and they start covering at the market, I mean, you can cover 20 contracts at the market here after hours, and it's going to push the market up 10 points because the volume gets razor thin. So that's one of the fun things about the mini-sized Dow is that you can have some pretty nice moves from 4 to 4:15. So what I've done, I've just told my broker and said, look, on the second half, we're just doing an MOC order, okay? So that means like around 4:13, and in this case, I like to use about 4:14. We just see where the market is and we get out. Sometimes we'll get stopped, but sometimes what happens, you end up getting a nice 20 or 30 point move. It just depends. It just varies from day to day. But at least it gives us something interesting to do the last 15 minutes.
We could crack a beer open the last 15 minutes.
That sounds good. Oh, MOC is a market on close order. And that's when I just tell them that, hey, my broker knows that at 4:14, just close it out. So we'll see. Now, after 4:15, after 4 o'clock, I completely ignore scalper buys and scalper sells because those signals they're not valid during this time of day. All right, so let's just sit here. Let's see if we can get. What happens is usually the markets are pretty quiet the first 10 minutes, and then in the last 5 minutes, you got what I call the oh crap orders, and we'll just see which directions they're pointed in. Yeah, Justin, they usually work pretty good. They usually work pretty good, and then some days you get a nice surprise. Night, Arthur.
Take it easy, AJ.
Crank up the pit. They get real noisy in the last 2 minutes.
They go nuts. The last 2 minutes, you swear up now there's a fire in the building.
Really?
Yeah. It depends. The last 15 minutes, as soon as the market closes, they'll just be like, all right, all the suckers are out, now let's go.
Gotcha.
And then sometimes they'll get real loud just for a brief moment, and then they'll stop. But usually you'll get like 3 thrusts of noise and stuff.
Gotcha.
It gets loud now. I'm going to place the mic up here next to the pit noise so you guys can hear it because it usually actually gets louder after the close, okay?
It is 70.
For those of you that were in the seminar over the weekend, when we stop here at 4:15, we're going to take it open for questions, and we'll stay here as long as you guys need for any questions or anything for today. And if you're brain fried, you can call us or be in the room anytime this week and ask questions too, okay? So anybody, if you guys are in the seminar, if you have questions, we're going to plan on staying here as long as you need us for any questions or clarifications that you might have. But again, if you're totally brain fried from all the data dump over the last 3 days, no worries. If you're in the room this week, you can ask us questions anytime. You can also set us phone calls, emails, or anything with questions. Sometimes it's nice to take a couple of days and rest. But again, if you've been at the seminar this weekend and you have questions, we'll be here as long as you need today to answer those questions. All right, so I'm still in half a position long here. We've got about 10 minutes, and then we'll see where we are. We're going to exit at the market. And then, again, for those of you that were here for the seminar, Hubert and I will stay here as long as you need us to clarify anything. But, of course, you'll be able to contact us at any time as well. Okay?
Bring it up. It is 70, it is 70. It is 70, 830 and a half. 820 and a half. 830 and a half, 830 and a half. 8:30. 8 minute 20. 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 20 minute and a half. 8 minute and a half, 8 minute, 20 minute and a half, 20 minute and a half. 20 minute and a half. 20 minute 40. 20 minute and a half, 20 minute and a half. 20 minute and a half.
Roger, it still trades between 4:15 and 5, but it just gets real quiet. I just don't want to be in past 4:15 because that's when the S&Ps close and everything else closes for the futures. So I just want to be out at that time. So usually here in the last 5 minutes, or if we're going to get any movement, that's when it's going to happen. What'll happen? It'll just take one poor bastard out there who's on the wrong side of a trade, and if he's got 50 contracts, he's got to cover at the market. It'll shoot it up 20 points. I've seen it happen. No.
Hey, 30 minute and a half. 30 minute and a half, 30 minute and a half. 8.5 and 8.70. 8:30 minute and a half. 8:30 minute and a half. 8:30 minute and a half.
Pretty slow action here, but if we're going to get anything going, it's going to be in the last about 5 minutes.
8.70. After trading. Half pitch Skywalk, 8.70.
Pitt. Yeah, it's actually pretty quiet. Pitt should start picking up here pretty soon. Right.
8.70. 8.70.
There's one guy out there. He's long, short 50 contracts, and he's nervous. He's going to start covering here pretty soon, and it'll shoot the market up. That's just my surmise. Again, that's from just spending a lot of time in trading rooms and watching people. It's a classic is the guy who inherits $1 million and decides to trade for a living. That'll be gone in 6 months.
8.70. 8:30 minute and a half. 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 8.5 and 8.70. 8:30 minute 70. 8 8F70, 8F70. 8F70, 8F70. 860 minute 80. 860 minute 8F70, 8F70. 60 straight 8F70. 8F70. 60 straight 8F70, 860 minute 80. 860 minute 80. 860 minute 80.
Pretty quiet. We're just flopping around out here. We're just waiting for that one dude that needs to cover his 50 contracts.
8F70. 8F70, 8F70.
Chris, if you want, actually, yeah. I mean, what I would look at is there's the key resistance levels on the daily chart are at 9,900. So 9,990. So about another 50 points up from where we are right now. That's key resistance on the daily charts.
8F on 70, Skywalk, 8F on 70. 60 straight, 8F good for 70. 34 left on Skywalk spin, 8F70, 8F70. 8F70. 8F70, 8F70.
This is a very tame last 15 minutes. Usually we get a lot more action than this.
8F on 100. 8F on 100. Pocket. 8F on 100. Now he's getting ahead. The 100 left trading, they're gone. More bids. Sit down, they get hit again. 8 even 20. Down the minis go lower. Locals offer 788 even. 788 even.
Okay, someone just dumped a large order.
788 even.
They just absorbed that. Now we're bouncing back up.
778 even. 7 half 80. Maryland 80. On the close. 7 half 80. 7 half 70. 730 minute 70. 730 minute and a half. Knife and a half. 720 minute and a half. 720 minute 40. 720 minute and a half.
All right, so we're dumping it here at 14. Out 99.39.
720 minute and a half. That's it, we're closed. Double checking the closing range. The Dow finished up 129 at 99.54. NASDAQ futures finished up about 10.
All right, so I'm just shutting that off. So the last trade there in the second half was -1. That was actually usually between 4 and 415. We actually get a pretty decent range. That was only a 10-point range. Usually we can get 20 to 25-point range, but that's okay. So plus 10 on that last trade, plus 10 on the first half, -1 in the last half, so plus 9 net overall. On the day, it's a little over plus 75 points on the Dow.
I had 62.
For Hubert, plus 62. So not too bad. What we'd like to do now is just do a quick recap. For those of you that were at the seminar, the whole purpose of today was that, on Saturday and Sunday, we spent both days we spent 8 hours on each day going through an intensive amount of data on all the different setups that we use, on all the different indicators that we use, on how we read the market, our business plan on how we trade the market, psychological factors that affect traders, and then today we basically went in and traded the market using all that stuff. So hopefully the goal of today was to tie all that in together so then you could use it in a feasible and fairly simple way just to make money trading the markets. So if you guys have any questions, feel free. We'll stay here as long as you want and answer questions. If you guys have complete brain overload and need to go relax for a little while, we completely understand. We'll be here. I mean, you guys have our full support, so feel free if you want to set up a phone call to go over any of the stuff later, or if you want to email a business plan or anything like that, we can go over with you and critique it. But that's kind of it. So hope you guys enjoyed the seminar, and hope we were able to kind of help you a little bit with your own trading. And if you have any questions, just fire away. We'll stay here. And again, if you have brain fry and want to go hit golf balls or go to the mall, just let us know. Just contact us anytime in the near future, and we can go over any of the material with you.
Yeah, guys, as far as support goes, I mean, we're here for you guys just about any time. You can call John on the 1-800 number in Boston, or here's my cell phone number. I usually have it with me day in and day out, so you guys can call just whenever you want to.
Yeah, Jordan, if you give us a call, I mean, we've got 3 different brokers that we use. Just call us, and we can tell you which ones that would probably fit you the best if you want to call them. I mean, you can call them all and just kind of see who you like better.
Okay, Bradley, go ahead. I mean, you can type it in here, Bradley, or you can give us a call. It doesn't matter. Go ahead. Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks really for your kind words. Appreciate it. Yeah, if the put call rises from 0.50 to 0.91, that would be bullish, correct?
Bradley, what question do you have? Yeah, because for brokers, I mean, we've used like 10 different brokers, and we're pretty familiar with all the pluses and minuses. Like with TradeStation, we love the charting, but not too crazy about the brokerage. Other brokerages out there are okay. They advertise a lot, but if you try to call them, you'll be on hold for 20 minutes. That's just not right. So we know the guys that are out there that are hungry. They're going to answer the phone for you. They're going to take care of you, and you still get great commission rates and everything like that. So. Bradley, like what? Okay. Hey, Bradley, can you type out an example of a kind of trade you'd take with the parameters that you would use? Larry, it doesn't. It's really hard to tell. I mean, usually on a day like this, you have a good chance of gapping up the next day and just continuing on. If we gap up tomorrow, I mean, I'd short it. Basically, any gap tomorrow would be a good fade. If I was a gap up, I'd fade it. If we'd gap down, I'd fade it. No, that's fine, because risk reward. Bradley, what do you normally trade? I mean, risk reward that's something that applies across a lot of different different markets. Okay. So what's a typical risk reward that you use? So this is at 80 minutes. Should I pause it and start a new one? Or just let it go?
I think it'll be fine.
Okay.
We haven't had anything close to 2 gigs, have we?
No.
No, we'll be fine.
Yeah, and all of you that went to the seminar, as you guys know, we're going to be archiving the seminar. We recorded everything, and you guys get a free copy of it for going to the seminar.
Yeah, but what does that mean exactly, Bradley? Give me an example of a trade, or of some of the trades that you do in general. Yeah, it's worth learning market profile, the best person. Alec's in the process of doing a market profile module for us in here, so that's probably the best way to learn it. He's one of the best market profile guys that I know.
Ali, yeah, no, it's kind of like it seems like a trend reversal day. I'm really curious to see how the markets end up tomorrow. We're actually looking at adding market profile to our Las Vegas course. Jammer, if you guys were at the online seminar, we have that record, and so you'll just get it in the mail once it's done. We'll give you a heads up. It's going to take 3 or 4 weeks to put it together, but you'll get it.
Because that's where we told the broker to execute it at? Yeah.
Exactly, Jim. I instant message the broker and say, I work, because I'm doing a lot of different accounts, I have them help with order execution. And so when I tell them MOC, I mean, they know that for me, an MOC means 414.
Hey, Bradley, give us a call here at the office.
Yeah, we can do it. We can do a conference call with you, Bradley, and answer questions that you might have. Larry, yeah, we're going to actually be in Las Vegas November 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th for a 4-day seminar. And we're going to do basically 2 days of instruction and then 2 days of live trading. So it's kind of fun, because Vegas in November is a great place to go. For people that have already been to a seminar and you want kind of a refresher course, you can go for half price. For people who have never done the seminar and are interested in doing it, Las Vegas is a fun place to go. And they're also going to be in Fort Lauderdale in September and then in Denver in October. We actually were only planning to do Vegas, and then we've had an investment group in Florida invite us down, and then an investment group in Denver invite us over. And so our schedule suddenly got really busy. Yeah, and actually the Vegas the Traders Expo, I think is November 17th through the 21st. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the seminar in Vegas, have a day off, and then go to the Traders Expo. Mandalay Bay Hotel. It's a great hotel if you guys have been there. It's just it's just a very fun and relaxed atmosphere. Fast Money, he's on the phone, but when he's usually the last half of the day, Hubert's trading with quarter size. So if he starts off the day trading 16 contracts at a time, then the last half of the day he's trading 4 contracts at a time. Yeah, Chris, that's one thing I think would be fun. I'm asking him about doing something with gaming, whether we do a Texas Hold'em poker tournament or a craps tournament or something like that. That would be kind of fun. That would demonstrate money management and then at the gaming tables. Bradley, we're going to be at the office for a little while. We've got a lot of things to catch up on here, but if you want, Hubert, do you want to try to do any calls today, or do you want to wait to see if we can set up some appointments for tomorrow?
I fly out tomorrow.
For Brad, well, yeah, we'll be here during the day. For Bradley?
Yeah, during the doldrums tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, during the doldrums tomorrow, call the office and schedule a conference call with Priyanka tomorrow between 11:30 and 2 o'clock. That'll be fine.
Yeah, Bradley, why don't we just do it? We can do it sometime tomorrow if you've got time, or, we'll be around.
No problem.
Sure, no, I'm glad you could attend. You had lots of good questions.
No, this morning it was a full position, and then after I was up so many points, late in the day, I switched to a quarter position. But this morning they were full position. Both moves this morning, yes.
Yeah, you got to remember, this week is options expiration week, so a lot of times, that Monday prior, there's a lot of unwinding of large derivative positions, and today's move could easily fizzle out if it's just options related activity. We'll see. We'll see. Tomorrow's going to be a very important day.
No, Justin, I would have probably went to a quarter-size position anyway, just because the market had ran up so much, and my percentages on my trades dropped dramatically.
Dramatically?
There you go. What he said after about 11:30. So I trade a lot of quarter positions after the 2 o'clock time frame.
Roger, on the YM, I use the default on TradeStation, which is at 5, but I've been leaning more towards 415, just because that's really where the S&Ps and the NASDAQ close to. So if there's a big difference between the two, I'll take that into account. I don't use the 4 o'clock though.
415, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question. The September contracts, we're going to stop trading. Okay, the third week in September is whatever day that is. I don't have a calendar in front of me. The third Friday in September is whatever that day is. The week before, we'll start trading. We'll go out to the next contract, which is December. So we'll still be trading the September contract for about another month, 3.5 weeks or so.
Oh, thanks, Roger. Why do I think that happens? There's more volume in the morning than there is in the evening. And I don't know. It's usually because for professional traders, you have more of an advantage in the morning, where I've got more indicators, more stuff cracking, I'm more focused, I'm not tired, I'm not lethargic. And then as the day goes on, everybody gets tired. But you've got more. The professional trader that does it for a living has an edge. If you throw mom and pop in there in the morning, they'll get ate alive. Or newbies, they kind of get, that's your lunch meat. I don't know. I don't know exactly why it happens. It's just I trade better than in the morning than I do in the evening. Hubert, will you be back in Kentucky tomorrow? Yeah, I'll fly out tomorrow around 3 or 4. I'll be back probably by midnight tomorrow night.
He'll be here at the office till about 3, and then he's going to head to the airport and fly back.
And then I'll be here. Then I fly back. I get back in Kentucky Tuesday, and then Sunday I'm back on a plane back to here for Boston for a week. You're the guy that lives in... Where you live at, Dudley? You live in Cincinnati? Or northern Kentucky? Like 45 minutes away?
I think he lives in England.
Dudley does? Really? Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know he lived in London.
That's right next to Kentucky.
That is London, Kentucky. There is a London, Kentucky. Oh, cool, Dudley. I'm sorry.
Sarah, generally I use the 5-minute chart on the bonds, and we'll look at those again tomorrow. Today, the first one we did stopped out, and it wasn't a great example because it did it right on the quarter point. But they're actually really a good setup. But we'll look at them again tomorrow. Yeah, if you guys know too, generally the first half of the day is the best trading. The last half of the day, it's a little more mixed, and that's pretty typical.
It's just like Monday and Friday. Monday and Fridays are the worst day. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays are the best days to trade.
Of course, this Monday wasn't too bad.
No, not bad. It worked out pretty good.
No, Sarah, on the close of the candle on 12 noon, then the next candle we'll start looking to see where we are on the bond trade.
Malcolm, that would be me. But what exactly, when you're requesting the parameters, what are you asking for?
He's got a different platform that he wants to try to construct them for.
Oh, really? What platform?
I don't know. I don't remember.
What platform you got, Malcolm?
Yeah, Chris, it's kind of the thing I found about the morning, unless you're playing a gap play, it's best to let the market settle in for about half an hour, and then that way you can kind of get a feel of what the markets are doing. I personally like trading the afternoons, but I find that I trade, like today I didn't leave during the doldrums. I find that if I leave during the doldrums and then I come back after like an hour and a half, I'm much more focused on the last hour and a half of the day.
Yeah, I got stuck here where I went to go get lunch.
Sure, Dudley.
Yeah, Dudley, no problem. Yeah, Malcolm, you'll have to call me, but you'll have to call me when I've got the parameters in front of me. I've got them all locked up, so I'll have to enter in the codes to unrelease the code. I have to think about that. I don't know if I want to do that or not. But you still call me. We'll talk about it.
Sarah, I'm not sure if I understand your question. I mean, it doesn't. You can use a 5-minute chart or a 15-minute chart. Basically, just after or a 1-minute chart. After 12 noon, you just want to remember you're gonna fade a move to a quarter point level, or you're gonna buy. You know, whether if it's moving higher, you're gonna short it. If it's moving lower, you're gonna buy it. Does that make sense? I mean, you can use a 1-minute chart, a 5-minute chart, because it's going to be all the same levels. Yeah, Chris, I mean, in the afternoon, if I can get away for an hour or an hour and a half, I mean, I do a lot better. Whether I'll go try to, in the winter, I'll try to go to the gym. In the summer, I've got my 4 predator fish that I've got to go run up to, I got to drive like 20 miles to go get some food for every other day. It's a good excuse to get out of the office.
Jim J. No, he doesn't trade the 352 every day, but he does trade it a lot.
Yeah, quite a bit. I mean, usually 3 days a week I'll be trading it. Sure, Justin. If you have any other questions, let us know.
Oh, cool. Well, you posted the pivots. Check them out.
Right, Sarah. So from 11:30 to 12, basically then right at noon and 1 second, you can start trading if the previous half hour was within a half-point time range. I'm sure, Tim.
Oh, thanks, Tim.
Sarah, if you can be in the room tomorrow, we can look at it again live, and I can show you. Today I was actually gone the first 20 minutes, so that was kind of tough. I see what you mean, Sarah. Let's look at it tomorrow, unfold live, and I can show you.
Go right-click on the indicator, format it under plot displacement. Put 1.5 or 2.0.
No. On this one, PK, go. Yeah, you want to go to. He wants to go to colors and change buy OK to blue and sell OK to red.
What? I fixed that problem.
But he's got a different version.
Oh, send an email to service@tradethemarkets.com.
No, you can do it. He just changed buy OK to blue and sell OK to red.
Okay, cool.
I swear it works.
Okay, for your version that you've got, PK, do what John said. Switch your buys and your sells. They're backwards. It'll override it, though. Service, if Priyanka sends him one, it'll override his thing.
Let's see. Inputs. Oh, wrong one. TTM.
That was a little mix-up on the code once. Oh, thanks, Scott. Thanks, JV. That's the way they're set up. Switch it, PK, and see if it works. And then if that doesn't work, send service an email, and I'll send you out.
No, it'll work. I'm typing it in right now.
Okay, John's hooking you up. Hold on. Dude, we should have bought these bikes a long time ago. Oh, sure, Chris, we can do that. Yeah, we can cover that in the Las Vegas seminar. A lot of times, what will happen is we'll cover that on like the side note, like at dinner or after the normal seminar. But yeah, we can go into that for for the Vegas seminar. That'll actually be good material to add to it. Like how to set it up, who to clear through, how, all that good stuff. Cleaning up bad habits. Email me, Hubert@tradethemarkets.com. There's a couple of little CDs that you can get to like train your mind so that you can reinforce good habits and eventually your bad habits you'll get better at not doing those. There's a couple of mind CDs, like tapes that you'll listen to with positive reinforcement, stuff like that. And there's a couple other things that you can do. Manny, just email me, Hubert@tradethemarkets.com.
Yeah, thanks, Scott. Chris, we will be talking about that. There are different strategies for doing managing other people's money versus your own, and we will be covering that a little bit at the Vegas seminar, and we can also talk to you a little, more about it in depth there too. Yeah, anybody who's interested in that stuff, Malcolm, they can just. Not everybody's going to be interested in it, so if you're interested in that stuff, just email us. PK, is that working now for you, or do you still have the same problem?
Fast money discussion. Yeah, Malcolm, if you want to, you can request it too. Just send an email, Hubert@tradethemarkets.com. Some people get into that type of thing, the self-help and the personal development. Some people don't. I personally think it's 90% of the trading equation, and then the other 10% is mechanics and just basic execution and stuff.
You would think.
Hubert, what are some of the ways to take profits on quick scalps like the one on this morning? I don't understand the question. I just exit the trade.
PK, under inputs, what does it say under plot displacement?
Oh, what's an E? Oh,
okay, and then under colors, what does it say for buy OK?
Let me see if I was going for 10 points fast money, and I got a feel for like the first 5 or 7 or something like that. I was going for 7 or 8 and got a feel on 5.
Okay. Under inputs, change that to minus 1.5 and see what happens.
Yeah, you can. If you do get a loss of momentum, you can exit on that. I mean, I would have been better off if I stayed in it longer. On the first half, I would have made more money and exited at 10 like I'm supposed to instead of 5. It's a kind of a tape reading thing, and I need to do a module on tape reading. I mean, because that's where some of the stuff comes from. I mean, there's a point up to what you can teach. And then there's some stuff that just comes with, market hours experience and just a lot of hours staring at the tape and learning how to read a tape. They went into the body of the bar. See if he's got negative 1.5. Yeah, I think the reason there's so little published is because it's so hard to teach. It's a visual thing. It's kind of I don't know. It's a lot of. It's just so hard. It's hard to explain, let alone teach. Make sure I got that one guy's question. What are some of the ways? Hey, Fast Money, did I explain it to you good enough? Your question? If I didn't, I'll give it another shot. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm looking at a 2-minute chart of the Dow Minis, and I'm looking at time and sales right beside it. When I see an area that it hits it like 4 or 5 times, and time and sales can't get through a certain area, then I get a little skittish. So I'll exit on the next time it hits that number. It's pretty much what I'm doing. I'm more out, you think? I do.
Yeah, I feel like I've been talking for 3 days.
Yeah. My eyes. If I just didn't have to look at the screen anymore, just close my eyes. Oh, I could put it on text to speech.
Well, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stop it for the archives, but we'll still stay here and ask any questions that you guys have. So.
Yeah, Fast Money. That's pretty much what I'm doing.
So this is a wrap-up of the archives. Thanks, everyone, for attending. If you want to stay, we'll stay here if you guys have additional questions. But everybody, good luck with your trading. And if you have any questions, just feel free to contact us. And we will we'll work with you on any questions that you might have. Hubert, any final words from you?
Yeah, the main thing is, pick 3 indicators. And the main thing is get your head right first. Trading is 90% mental and emotion, 10% mechanics and execution. After you get the head stuff fixed, then you can really work on the mechanics. But, pick your 3 indicators. I don't care what 3 you pick, and get really, really good at using them. Get you a real nice basic plan that you can build on. If it's too complicated and you go into information overload, analysis paralysis, or during the headlight syndrome, change it. If you cannot explain it to a 12-year-old, and they can't understand it, it is too complicated and you need something better. And other than that, just try to stay as disciplined as you can and use a little common sense, and good luck with your trading.
Yep, sounds good. All right, I'm going to shut this off, and then, again, if you guys have any questions, just let us know.